Wondering if there was a free bowl of soup, perhaps. I believe the hat was the bowl, indeed. A nice bowl of chowder, some nice grilled cheese to dip into that with the hat. Draymond giving way to his teammate, Steph Curry, now at the podium. Steph also donning a hat, not quite as fancy, but nonetheless, Steph Curry and the Warriors up 2-0.
Do you think that's possible?
I mean, we haven't won anything, really. We took care of home court advantage, which is what we're supposed to do. There's still a lot of basketball left, and how we show up in Cleveland will be a big test for us. They have a great home atmosphere, and obviously the way that the first 2 games have gone, you would expect Cleveland to come out with a lot of energy and feed off of that home crowd. So I'm only worried about Game 3.
If it was for you, who's the MVP of your team right now?
I mean, you could pick from a lot of guys. Draymond, what he did tonight. Sean, what he did in Game 1. Andre with his defense on LeBron. Clay making timely shots. We're doing it by committee, and everybody is playing their role. The crazy thing is we can all play better. So we got to continue to play the defense that we're doing, and individuals will shine along the way, and that's what we're about.
Same row to the right. Go ahead.
Steph, you mentioned Andre briefly when you threw out a lot of names. You've wound up on LeBron a few times. Can you just express what you think of when you watch Andre's defense against LeBron these last couple games?
He's just smart. He knows how to close the space, but also, give some room to move his feet and stay in front of him, and obviously use his hands, and get deflections, and get steals. So you kind of underestimate his length when he's guarding you, because he can be 2 feet off of you and still impact the ball and contest shots, and he's obviously not going to give any ground if you try to go through him. So he's done a great job, and being so versatile, he can guard a bunch of different guys and make those adjustments pretty quick. So it's pretty fun to watch.
This side towards this left side.
Gonzalo, ESPN Deportes, here. I'm going to get out of the way a little bit. You just met Neymar right now. Is it the first time that you guys meet? And also, what's that you admire about Neymar?
Yeah, it's the first time we met. LB and Verge, I talk about him all the time, but obviously a star in the soccer world, and such skill and kind of grace when he's out there on the field. So he's fun to watch, and I know he's a basketball head and is a big fan. So I saw him dribbling 2 basketballs the other day, trying to mimic my 2-ball routine. I told him I appreciate that, and he doesn't want to see me with a soccer ball because I wouldn't know what to do. So it's pretty cool to know. We got fans all over, and obviously it's inspiring what he does on the soccer field.
Mark Schwartz.
Steph, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. You had a chance to get a lot of spectating in tonight, especially in the third quarter, and you really got a good look at Draymond. It seemed to make you pretty happy. What was it about what Draymond was doing out there that made you especially happy?
I mean, you know how he's going to impact the game consistently every night with his defense and playmaking, getting guys involved. The way he was shooting the ball and having that confidence, and, bailing us out of a couple of possessions, knocking down his threes, whether they were open or contested. The one step back one, that's where I kind of lost my mind watching him. Just impact the game on the offensive end the way he did. So we needed that push to separate ourselves, and he provided it for sure.
He had 5 threes to lead you guys. Is there a time that he might be able to apply to become a third Splash Brother?
It's been 3-4 years, over 4 years he's been with us, so I want him to keep shooting. We got some work to do, though.
Michael, back left.
All right, thanks. Steph, Michael Grange from Sportsnet. These 2 games, you and Clay haven't really been the Splash Brothers, at least statistically, and yet you've won the 2 games fairly easily. Do you think for it's a nice thing. It's a good thing. People are recognizing that you don't go 73-9 without a pretty full contribution from people the casual fan might not recognize.
For sure, that's what we're about. I mean, if you watch us play, you know how we get the job done. Everybody falls in love, obviously, with how me and Clay shoot the ball, and that's a big part of what we do. And, you know, having success over the course of the season and playoff run, you need to have that punch. But when you look at the stat sheet and look at some names that jump off, whether it be Sean, you know, LB, Andre, HB, obviously Draymond, what he did tonight offensively, that's huge. But there's a little stuff that you don't see that on the stat sheet that has gotten us to this position. Talking about Andre's defense, talking about LB being ready, that microwave we need off the bench, and Sean's steady hand. That's where you become a consistent team, and you know, we need that along the way for sure.
Tim standing on the left.
Tim Kawakami, Mercury News. Steph, late in the game, one of the late timeouts, you might have been out of the game already. Draymond pulled you aside, had a real long talk with you out in the middle of the court there. What was that about? Was that about the whole series? Was that about where you are? Generally, what was that conversation about?
I mean, the overall theme was we have each other's backs, and the way that we're playing right now is great, and we're obviously closing on a second win, but there's a long way to go. And me and him need to continue to bring energy and just do what we can to focus on Game 3 and not getting ahead of ourselves. So he did a great job of really all night kind of being vocal, you know, allowing us to stay in the moment and understand we did what we're supposed to do, take care of the home court. But Game 3 is when it'll be a big test.
Tom on the right side.
Tom Haberstroh, ESPN.com. Steph, no team in the last 25 years has won a finals game with as few as 7 made free throws. Do you guys take pride in doing things differently or winning differently than teams in the past?
I mean, I would say we'd like to get to the free throw line a little bit more. We're probably going to need to do that in Cleveland. But some things, the way they guard and what might be open, you know, shots-wise, that might, you know, cater to that lack of, you know, a lot of free throws. But for the most part, when you're out there on the court, you kind of feel the flow and understand the way that we cut and screen for each other. You're going to get a lot of open jump shots. You just got to make them. But on the road, I think we need to, you know, focus on maybe getting to the paint a little bit more, putting pressure on the defense in the paint and swinging it out and getting to the free throw line if we need to slow momentum down if it gets away from us. But during the course of tonight, you're not really worried about it if you're getting open shots and making them.
Fourth row on the right.
Steph, you guys were down 6 early in the second, and then you went on this 20-2 run. Crowd got totally into it. What happened? What was that like? And are you surprised at winning these 2 games by a combined 48 points?
I mean, not surprised that we won, but obviously, yeah, the margin is nobody would have guessed that coming in. But every game is different in the playoffs. You can't really rely on the fact that you know, the margin is what it is. Game 3 is going to be totally different, and we need to play like that for sure. What was the first question?
About the 20-2 run.
Oh, our defense clicked in, and we had a brief moment where we didn't turn the ball over. You know, obviously we had 20 tonight, and a lot of those were early and a little bit in the third quarter. But when we go on those runs, it means we're taking care of the ball, getting stops, and getting in transition, and have their defense on their heels.